My name's Joseph Minden, and I'm talking a little bit about my new book, Answerlands. Um, Answerlands is a collection of poems that is born out of the experience of working as a teacher, as a secondary school English teacher. And it explores school and the space of school, particularly as it intersects with the imagination and dream life and um, forms of thought and forms of narrative as well that perhaps don't fit easily with the regularized, systematized space of school and its drive towards exams and assessment and all kinds of things like that. It's organized into four sections. The first is a long poem, Paddock Calls, that was written while I was training to be a teacher, and reflects the kind of intensity of first encountering as an adult, again, the school space, and tries to convey the intensity of that experience, explore the intensity of that experience, and question some of its, I guess, its violence through a combination of quite torrential, freeform, collage-like verse and clearer, more ordered prose, which sort of reflects on the same experiences from a slightly more kind of slightly more coherently, shall we say. And then after that, the book has three sections which are organised around an academic year: autumn, spring and summer, the three terms of a school year. And the spine of these sections are poems that were written over the last few years during full-time work as a teacher. And really, there has been very little time for me to write in the way that perhaps I used to in the past when I was putting together my first book, Poppy, very slowly, very carefully, forming and crafting poems. These poems I had to write on the hoof, and the way I did it was I would make notes every week out of whatever I could, scraps of conversation, things that I'd read, little images or ideas that came to me, and I'd make the notes in scraps of time, in the evening, in the morning. And the rule I had was that on a Sunday I'd write them into a poem. So after 2 years, I had 2 years worth of poems, all of which had titles that were simply just the week, the date they started, week commencing, whatever the day. And I've taken my favourite of those poems and collapsed them together into one Dreamlight School year, which kind of forms the main skeleton of the rest of Answerlands. But into that, I've also woven numerous other poems that kind of stray much further from the immediate subject matter of school and more into the world of the imagination and dreams, and also the world of fairy tales, which I kind of see as a space of storytelling and education which sits against the regularized and the kind of the very particular world of school. So a big poem in the second half of the book is a verse retelling of a Russian folktale called Dr. Fox, which is from the kind of collection put together by Alexander Afanasyev of Russian folktales. And that poem is very important to the collection, even though it ostensibly has nothing to do with school. I think that's all I have to say about the book. But to finish, I'm going to read the opening poem, the poem that comes before even the first long poem, Paddock Calls, which introduces some of the strands of the book as a whole. It's called Diptych. There is the church bell tolling from the simple steeple. The cobbles are whale-backed and shining. The road is a ribbon cast into the valley. The light is the first spring light when it is still winter. It is morning in the village on a Sunday. There are no casual and inevitable sounds, no routine greetings, no clatterings of wheels passing over the uneven ground. What is there? I begin to lose my voice, but the tall red school still stands on my tongue at the edge of the fen. And somewhere in the building, high and hidden away, time comes and goes, lording